And this love, this infinite amount of love where I'm speaking from, is a love I felt intuitively that I wanted to share to everyone who's able to receive it. And so beautiful that you are one of them. Super. Yeah, wonderful. And now comes something to me. I don't know for how long you are knowing me. I'm 27 years old. There are people knowing me for such a long time within this lifetime. And there are people who are knowing me not so long. But for the people, for all of you, but for the people who are still watching after watching or other things that maybe confronted you or triggered you, the fact that you are still watching when you are many times maybe quite triggered or confronted with my way of being, with my way of behaving, yeah, thank you so much for your unconditioning love that you are still watching, that you are still receiving, because I can imagine that it is quite difficult to keep remaining loving someone who does such crazy things. That is a reflection of yourself, and then you need to start considering how the fuck it is to do something like the things I'm doing. And that's something your mind can't grab, that doesn't make sense for the mind, because I've done things that doesn't make sense for the mind. I will keep remaining doing things that are not making sense for the mind. And this video is there an example of. So this is something I felt so much shame for in the past, but I did it all myself. I felt so much guilt for, but I did it all myself. So probably I needed to feel the guilt and the shame and the suffering in order to just start acknowledging that you just can decide yourself if you suffer, yes or not. And that me holding on to so many things is just me not free enough to let go of suffering. Even when I'm living in Ibiza and you quite believe like, oh, and yet I tracked everything there what I wished for. And that even then I decided to do things to suffer, to feel this shame and to feel this guilt. In order to really feel now that there is no need to attach yourself to the guilt or to the shame. There is also no need to attach yourself to the crazy ideas, to also really do them. They are just thoughts, moments, impressions, and from the moment it comes from a loving place, and then I will ride away from now. When it's not coming from a loving place, then I just hope that I not start acting out of it. And because I didn't act it out of this way of awareness all the time, I'm so grateful that you are still here, because totally understandable if you wasn't here anymore after things you have seen from me that are so the opposite from how your perspective towards me was. And that I totally understand in case you have experienced that that it did something to you, and thank you so much for being still here. What I already say, in case you wasn't here anymore, then I should have had compassion and understanding. I have compassion and understanding for everyone who is not here, where I'm also speaking to, because this video is literally to everyone I've crossed paths with, for everyone where I had an energy exchange with, for everyone that I loved, for everyone where I had contact with, where I've experienced things with. Thanks for being one of them. Dankjewel, als jij een van hen bent. And in case you are interested what's behind the Dan Touwen who is speaking out of this point, I've made also some other videos where I tried to make a video like this, but went a totally different direction. And I feel the calling now to start expressing them. The only thing is that in order to keep on connecting with this point for now, in order to keep prioritizing to my healing, I'm not there to really go into interactions. So for me, this video is really my way of showing my love towards you, and just know that I am there for you, only not in physical form at the moment, because at the moment I'm prioritizing completely to this process of just being, detaching from everything, just being alive without needing to do anything. But these are things, in order to just be present in the here and now, what is the most beneficial thing also for my recovery process, but also in order for what I'm gonna do next, because I don't want to just do things all the time. I just want to create and operate out of that loving space. So yeah, please, if that does something to you and you want to reach out to me, you can always reach out, but just know that when I'm in the right time and space, then I can come back to it, and that's not this specific moment. For this specific moment, it was just me feeling this calling to show this loving message towards you. And thank you for still being there with me. Thank you for receiving this message. Thank your mind for allowing yourself to still receive some things out of this message, because I can imagine that this again, yeah, sometimes it can really trigger you to receive the things that I am saying, and I'm aware of that, and I'm aware that I'm not only making friends with that. So again, so much appreciation if you're still here and still can consider me as a friend, as a brother, as a loved one, as someone you're grateful for, that you know this one, that you know this version of you, this reflection of you, because we are one. We are all part of one oneness. And that one oneness you only feel when you become one with time and space, with your loving time and space. When you allow yourself to just be present with your loving presence, because your loving present to the world is your presence. But if you are not aware of your own presence, because you are not present enough, then you can't be that loving presence to your loving surroundings where you are capable of. And that loving place, I've not always acted out of that loving place in the way I express myself online, or in the way I behave myself in my actions. So also with that, thank you for still being here, loving me without conditions, or at least receiving this without that conditions you maybe still have, because that's totally logical, understandable if you still have those, and that this whole video is creating another one. And that's the whole paradox, because I would love to start this video especially for you. But from the moment I start really tapping into you, then it becomes this reflection again. And then it is just exactly the message that comes to me, that now comes to you. And by expressing it, I'm not rationalizing is how it is for you to receive this. It is just, or you can receive it or you can't receive it. And you don't need to force it to receive something of it if you're not receiving it. And if you are receiving it, then you can just be grateful with that. If you're not receiving it, then you can be grateful that you are recognizing that you're not receiving with it, that you're not resonating with it. En dan you can just one ear in, other ear out. Eén oor in, ander oor uit. En dat is ook met deze hele video uiteraard. Graag één oor in, ander oor uit. Alles wat jij hebt geconsumeerd met deze video, alles wat resoneerde, dat is ontvangen. Daar hoef je verder niks meer mee te doen. Daar hoef je verder niet meer je best voor te doen. Everything I just said in Dutch, it's like you can trust on the fact that everything you resonated with during this loving message from my being towards your being, that everything where you were resonating with, that you have received it. And that it is now part of you. And that everything you didn't resonate with, that you can do like one ear in, other ear out, and just don't attach yourself to it, please. Because otherwise it's gonna harm you. And that's the opposite of the intention where I made this video with. But again, this whole paradox, I just can't speak, I just can't be without being a reflection for the beings of others. And how people receive my reflection is based on their awareness that creates their perspective on life, that creates their reality. So it's just up to your reality, how, if it's even something that comes into your reality, and if it comes into your reality, then it's up to your reality how you receive this. And I hope that you can receive it with the loving, with eventually that I can, or that you at some point or now within the present, because it's the only thing we have, that you can receive it out of within this loving place within you that is connected with a loving place within me that loves you. That's so grateful for you. Thanks, bro. Thanks, sis, for everything. Thanks for your loving being. No matter what you have all done in your life, no matter what you did, you're so beautiful. Because without, this comes from the loving place without conditions. So everything just is. Everything just is love and reflects with love. And everything is a part of love. Life, everything is a part of life. You are alive. Thank you for being alive, being with your presence, a part of my life, even when we are not connected in physical form. This is always there. Thank you so much. Dankjewel. Ik hou van jou. I love you. You're the best. But that's not better than anyone else, because everyone is the best. Everyone is just perfect how he or she is. Lekker, daar laat ik het graag bij. Want zoals je merkt kan ik hier een beetje door blijven gaan. Daan kan hiermee door blijven gaan. So I will leave it with that. I can constantly flowing, so there needs to come a point that I just decide to press the stop button and keep remaining flowing here with myself without camera. So that's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Hasta luego. Adios.